Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. I am Dave Biddle. I'll be joined by Steve Helwagen in just a moment. We're going to talk all things quarterbacks for Ohio State. Looking back again on Kyle McCord leaving. It's the first time I'll have a chance to talk to Steve about it, get his initial reaction. Talk about Devin Brown and Lincoln Kienholz going into the Cotton Bowl. Aaron Nolan coming in January. And will Ohio State land a quarterback from the portal? We're going to get into all that. We're also going to talk more Ohio State football, who might stay, who might leave, as far as going to the NFL or coming back for another year. Before we do that, got to let you guys know about Manscaped. This is the part of the show where Steve laughs at me. You can't see him, but I can. All right, Manscaped, though, there's a reason this company is blown up, and we got a great deal for you. All right, here we go. Santa Baby, the season for a fresh cut is finally here with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have just launched their 5th-generation performance package to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom this year. Take care of your special snowflake with a Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and watch your South Pole shine like never before. Get the best stocking stuffer of all by going to manscaped.com and using the code Bucknuts for 20% off plus free shipping. Mrs. Claus will thank you. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, which includes loads of perfect stocking stuffers. What could be better than giving the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs? Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Bucknuts at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code Bucknuts. Say ho, ho, ho to a well-groomed mistletoe with Manscaped. There you go. It's actually been fun watching this company blow up. I love this show Shark Tank, and I remember seeing them on Shark Tank, and they have just blown up. So Steve Helwagen, welcome in. I'm glad to give you some laughs to start off your morning.
The beginning of the show is like a Beavis and Butthead episode. I love it. It gives me reason to get out of bed in the morning.
And for people that don't know, they also just have like regular like shaving products too. I use some of those before the show. I finally shaved my ratty beard and use some Manscaped above the waist Manscaped. So there you go.
Definitely.
All right, I'm done embarrassing myself, at least for now. Okay, I'm just curious. When you got the news, we all woke up Monday morning to the news. When you got the news Monday morning at 7 o'clock, whenever it broke, that Kyle McCord is transferring, what was your initial reaction, Steve Helwagen?
Well, this was like Memorial Day back in 2011 or whatever that was with Jim Trussell, the news coming out that he was leaving. I mean, you have to backtrack to Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We get the announcement, and Coach Day comes in, and he's asked 5 different questions about the quarterbacks situation and Kyle McCord. And at no point does it sound like he's committed to Kyle McCord for 2024 or even for the Cotton Bowl. It sounded like, well, we're going to have a week of fundamentals. We'll have a week of game plan, and then we'll go down to Texas and have the last bit of preparation for the game, and whoever gives us the best chance to win the game, that's who will play. And I mean, that was his comment, and you're kind of like, what? It's just kind of like, really? So, I don't know if he was trying to curry favor with the what do they call it, the vocal minority out there who has shouted Kyle McCord down in the street, basically, and said all these negative and nasty things about him since he got hit, and threw an interception that really wasn't his fault, the last one. But, he's been scapegoated for losing that game. I'm not saying he's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So don't be like everybody and go the extreme the other direction. But this guy was vilified, for 7 days, and then Ryan Day came out and really didn't give him a big vote of confidence. And I think either Ryan Day had already had the discussion, with Kyle McCord at that point, and had told him, there is no certainty for 2024, that it's going to be an open competition, which I wholeheartedly believe in, because they've got – why have those other guys on the roster if you're not going to have them compete for the job against a guy who was not a first-team All-Big Ten quarterback? He was good, but he wasn't great. You know what I mean? Was he the impediment to not beating Michigan? Hey, he got him back in the game. I mean, he played well enough to get him back in the game. So very complex issue. But yeah, I get up. I've got cramps. 6:30 in the morning. My legs are cramped. So I get out of bed to go get water. I grab my phone. Friends of mine who are teachers are up early in the morning and they're already texting McCord's in the portal. So I immediately log on. We start, going through the rigmarole of what we've got to get accomplished, for the site. And it dawned on me that the story was to go back and dissect everything that Ryan Day had said on Sunday. And that gives us the clues as to why we're in this situation Monday morning at 9 a.m. So, best of luck to him. I think he'll land on his feet somewhere. I think he's a potential NFL quarterback, but he's got a mental block. He locks in on Marvin Harrison Jr. and to the detriment of the team. And I think that held him back at times. He was not a good starter of games. His first quarters were abysmal. His second and third quarters were great. They blow people out, and he didn't play a lot in the fourth quarter. And then, the games where they did need him at Notre Dame in the fourth quarter, he came up, roses there. So, mixed bag with this guy. Just an experiment that ultimately did not work out for anybody. They get those last 39 yards and they beat Michigan and they kick the extra point. We're not even talking about this today, Dave. We're talking about, oh my goodness, can you believe that they're going to play Alabama in the semifinals, or whatever today? But that's not what we're doing.
That's not what we're doing. Instead, we're talking about we're going to see Devin Brown probably start, and I think Lincoln Kienholz will play. Some people think Lincoln Kienholz will start. I tend to think Ryan Day is going to start Devin Brown. It just makes it a lot more intriguing. I'm really curious about this Cotton Bowl. Buckeyes are slight favorites, 2.5-point favorites over Mizzou. It's a good Missouri team, obviously. They're number 9 in the nation. They have a good defense, good quarterback. This is a good team, well coached. But I want to focus on Devin Brown and Lincoln Kienholz. I'm really curious to see how these young men play.
Yes, I agree with you. I think in a perfect world, maybe they would alternate series, or Brown would get to play the first quarter and then Kienholz would come in on the third series or whatever it would be, and then figure out, in the first 3 quarters, if the game comes down to the fourth quarter, which one's been effective, and let that one go. We've seen that Brown will be in a departure from what we've seen. He can run the football, and that, to me, is one of my checklist of 4 or 5 things that needs to change with this football program. I think, fix the offensive line, fix the special teams, fix the pass rush, get impact linebackers, and bring back a running quarterback. That's probably my 5-point checklist, I think, of things that need to be fixed. And impact linebackers, I know I'm delving way off of your Brown Kienholz question. I'll just touch on this real quick so I can clarify. I'm not down on Tommy Eichenberg at all. Tommy Eichenberg played the Michigan game with an injury, and he was front and center on 2 plays that probably cost him 40 yards just because I don't think he was fully 100%. He didn't need the play load that Jim Knowles gave him in that game. Why Cody Simon didn't play more in that game is going to go down as one of the great mysteries, from the previous year. Why didn't they give Dallin Hayden a shot? This year, it's why didn't they give Cody Simon a shot? And, so I got to go back and rewatch that second half of the Michigan game. It's kind of a blur to me why that spiraled out of control on the Ohio State defense after they'd played 11 and a half games of lights out football. Why did they suddenly –
They were worn out. They were worn out.
Yeah.
They weren't rotating much. It's funny. They just overcorrected. Everybody, myself included, was calling for less of a rotation on the defensive lines. Like, get your best players out there at the key moments. But then they went from one extreme to another. Instead of having hockey lines going in and out, there were 12 defensive linemen were playing. They just went with their starters really played the entire game. I think they got worn out. That's not an excuse though. I think that's just reality. I mean, you can't get worn out in the Michigan game, and they did.
I agree with you 100%. Just finishing up Brown and Kienholz, I am intrigued just as you are. Lincoln Kienholz will get his primetime opportunity, you would think, to play in a meaningful game. Is he ready as a true freshman to go up against an SEC defense? I don't know. This was a team, Missouri, that won 10 games. There's a lot more to this team than meets the eye. They lost to Georgia at Georgia, not 30-21. They beat some good teams along the way. So, this is not a walkover by any means. Is this going to get as bad as that South Carolina 24-7 Outback Bowl? No, I don't think it's going to get that bad. But Ohio State, whoever shows up to play, better bring their lunch pail because, Missouri, this would be an all-time program-defining victory for Missouri, to beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, kind of like it was for Arkansas years ago in that Sugar Bowl where they nearly knocked off the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes had to hold on there at the end to win the game. But to me, Dave, it is very intriguing. I want to see, if Devin Brown's healthy, what he can do, and Lincoln Kienholz as well. Going to be a three-man competition for the spring as it stands now, unless they're able to entice a big-time quarterback out of the portal. The third guy, of course, Aaron Noland, the high school prospect coming in from Georgia.
Let's get into the portal and what you think is going to happen there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Aaron Noland enrolling in January. I don't know if it's realistic that he's going to start as a true freshman, but I love that he's coming in. He's a young man with a tremendous skill set, and he played against top competition in Georgia. I love that. But let's focus on the portal. If I'm a betting man, Steve, and I am, I would bet the Buckeyes are going to land a quarterback in the portal. I wouldn't bet a ton on it, but I think that's more likely than not. That's my opinion. What is yours?
Well, at the very least, they need another Tristan Gebbia, a guy who would come in and, in case of emergency, break glass type situation. I think he was perfect, even though he never played a down of football that I recall this season. He was perfect for the situation. And I think if they can get that kind of guy again, at the very least, if you have the opportunity to get a proven Power 5 quarterback who has won games, thrown for a high percentage, has not turned it over, and God forbid can actually run the football, that would be a hard one to turn down. I'll say that. People have talked about Cam Ward from Washington State. I honestly don't know much about him. I looked at his stat line, 3,700 yards, but didn't run for anything like 100 yards. Is he an upgrade? I don't know. Washington State was 2-7 in the Pac-12. Some of the other guys that have been rumored, Riley Leonard from Duke, different people. Riley Leonard only got to play about half the season, I guess. I don't know. I don't think you bring a guy in just to bring a guy in. I think if you bring a proven commodity in, then I would think Devin Brown has to go, because even if it's just a one-year rental, he would be down to 2 years left after next year where he could play, I suppose. But, he probably is banking on the fact he's starting at Ohio State in 2024 right now. That's what's in the front of his mind right now. So it's his job in his mind right now. And if they bring somebody, but, they're well within their rights. They know what they have. They've seen all the practice video for a year. They know if he's any good or not in their heart of hearts. And, I don't think Coach Day's averse to a quarterback competition. He went all the way to August 15th this past year before he named Kyle McCord as the quarterback. So I don't view it as stringing people along. I view it as doing what's right for the program. I think Ryan Day is always going to put that first and foremost. I have faith in him that he's going to attract a great player, or he believes they've got great players in the fold.
And he didn't even really name McCord the full-time starter till after the second game, heading into that third game, when Coach Day and I had that funny exchange at the press conference. So, yeah, man, it's going to be very interesting. And we've had a lot of people ask this question. I'm going to get to this. Dayquan Finn from Toledo, who played really well. This says Akron. Darren on YouTube. I know what you mean, though, Darren. Dayquan Finn, we've had a lot of people ask about him. Could the Toledo quarterback, who's now in the portal, transfer to Ohio State? Here's the thing. He looked really good against the Buckeyes last year. I'm talking 2022, but he's really not that good. He's not that good. I don't think he'd be an upgrade to Devin Brown or Lincoln Kienholz or even true freshman Aaron Noland. I really don't. I think people who watched – now, Toledo's a very good team this year, but if you watched them a lot, Dayquan Cook. That's a blast from the past. Dayquan Finn, I do not think would be an upgrade. I'm hearing Ohio State's not going after him.
Yeah, 63% passing, which is just okay. Not bad. That's actually pretty good. 2,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and he ran for 563 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's all well and good. He is 6'2", 205 from Detroit, Michigan. Just checking here what his stats are.
1 year left. I mean, if they decide to go after him, I mean, just for depth, he's not a guy that I think is going to come in and would be like, oh, he's Justin Fields part 2, which I don't think anybody thinks he's Justin Fields, but I just wanted to get that out there. A lot of people,
I think Power 5 somewhere, maybe in Indiana or in Illinois, that speed of school might be what he's looking at, I would think.
I'll also add this when we're talking about guys like Cam Ward and Finn, who's a good runner. Would they even want to come and play in a Ryan Day offense where he tells the quarterbacks not to run? We have Justin Fields on the record talking about how Coach Day didn't really want him to run at Ohio State. He did a little bit, obviously, maybe more than a little bit. But Justin Fields even said that Coach Day told me not to run very much at Ohio State. C.J. Stroud, we know that's the same thing. He's actually running the ball fairly well in the National Football League. So I don't know if any of these running quarterbacks would even be pursued by Ryan Day because he doesn't seem to think a running quarterback is important. And I'm not saying
he's going to die on this hill. He's 0-3 against Michigan with non-running quarterbacks. 0-3 against Michigan with non-running quarterbacks. He can die on that hill all he wants. He'll be out of a job within a year or two if he. These things that need fixed. A blind person can see that the stuff that needs fixed. Either you fix it and you go on and you beat Michigan next year, or you don't. And I can't help them. I don't work there. I can't help them. I just watch it all day, every day. So, whatever.
Steve and I are going to get to guys that might stay or leave here in just a moment. So stick around. The show is not even close to over, but I'll let you guys know about our other sponsor, Omaha Stakes. A great deal you can get. Be perfect holiday gift for anybody who's a steak lover, meat lover. Again, great deal. And they have a message for you guys. Omaha Stakes. I love this company. The holidays are here. Let Omaha Stakes take the guesswork out of gifting. Shop carefully curated gift packages that are guaranteed to make spirits bright all winter long. Go to omahastakes.com and save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use the code Bucknuts, you'll get an additional $30 off your order. Send tender, juicy, butcher's cut filet mignons. I love their ribeyes. Mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. This offer will not last long. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so shop early and beat the shipping rush. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code Bucknuts at checkout. Omaha Steaks is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. Order with complete confidence today, knowing you're ordering the very best. Visit omahasteaks.com. Take advantage of 50% off site-wide, plus use the promo code Bucknuts at checkout to get that extra $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required. The most wonderful time of the year can also be the most stressful, but you can be a gifting expert with a little help from the guaranteed perfection of Omaha Steaks. So skip the guesswork and give something convenient, thoughtful, and guaranteed to put a smile on their face when you send them a gourmet gift from Omaha Steaks. For a limited time, get 50% off site-wide. Plus, you'll save an extra $30 when you use promo code Bucknuts at checkout. And every purchase is backed by their unconditional money-back guarantee. Simply go to omahasteaks.com and achieve gifting greatness today. It's really good. Steve, it arrives at your doorstep. It's in dry ice and everything. It's fantastic.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Yes, Omaha Steaks.
And it takes you 2 minutes. There you go. 2 minutes, and then you seem like the coolest person because you just delivered somebody like gourmet steaks to their door for Christmas or whatever. All right, here we go.
Well, and when you go to Nebraska, we go out there to cover the games. They have a kiosk at the Omaha airport where you can order the steaks to be shipped back to your home wherever. It's the perfect thing. I mean, you're planning your meals out ahead of time and you have all that food, and it's just like Oh, goodness. Just the best. Just the
awesome.
best.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. We've never, I'm not breaking news here. This will be like no offseason we've ever seen. This will be the largest turnover ever at Ohio State roster-wise from one season to the next. Get into that a little bit. Also, I mean, it's pretty obvious Marvin's going to leave. There's certain guys, to me, it's pretty obvious they'll leave.
Marvin.
Some of the guys that might be on the fence, I don't know, like Donovan Jackson. I don't know, maybe like a JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer. I don't know. Some of these guys that might be on the fence, Jordan Hancock. Who do you think might stay? Who do you think might leave? Putting you on the and just get into kind of putting you on the spot there and just get into this crazy turnover we're going to see, man. You and I have followed Ohio State football a long time, both growing up following the team and then doing this professionally for a long time. This will be like nothing we've ever seen, Steve.
Yes, you and I and Pat yesterday, we had a conference call where we went through 10 names here and we divvied them up to discuss who's staying and who's leaving. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be one of the top 3 players chosen. I think he is gone. Emeka Egbuka, with the injuries that he had this season, people say, well, he didn't have the year that maybe he would have liked to have had. Trust me, the NFL scouts and the NFL teams, they have a book on Emeka Egbuka that's about this freaking big. They know what that guy can do. That cat is gone. Trust me. JT Tuimoloau, man, I don't want to say he's an enigma, but at times, he plays like an All-American, and at times, like the Michigan game, you're like, did JT Tuimoloau play in this game? And so, could he benefit by coming back? Is Larry Johnson coming back? Do we know that definitively? I guess he is.
I would bet no, but I thought that I was told last year. It wasn't just a gut feeling. I know I wasn't the only reporter that reported this too. Yeah. I didn't even report it. I actually kept that to myself and then talked about it on the podcast after the fact. I was told last year by somebody that I trust that Larry was going to likely retire at the end of last year, and maybe it was as simple as him changing his mind. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah. But I had to bet again. I wouldn't bet a lot, but I think now that he's had his 10th year, he now qualifies for state retirement in the state of Ohio. Not that money's an issue for Larry Johnson; he's got plenty of it, I'm sure. But my guess is Ryan's going to make some tough decisions. Maybe that won't be a tough decision for him. Maybe Larry just wants to retire. I have no idea. But when he meets with us, Steve, even this year, he's, as you know, he's pretty defensive about it. When people ask, "Are you going to retire?" He's like, "Nick Saban is even older than me. Nobody asks him when he's going to retire."
Yeah. Well, that kind of dovetails into Jack Sawyer, Talik Williams, and Michael Hall Jr. Like, I think the decision on who's going to be their position coach probably factors into their decision as to whether or not they want to come back to Ohio State, because they want a proven commodity who's going to put them in the National Football League. So are any of those guys NFL players as they stand there today? I don't think Sawyer is quite as good as he could be just yet. We saw him scratch the surface, though, this year and really make some inroads. I thought he had at midseason 2 or 3 games where he was a dominant force. Talik Williams, I think, played at an all Big Ten level. I don't think he was rewarded quite as high as he should have been. And Mike Hall's got that ability, but he just can't stay healthy, it seems like. So, it would be the greatest thing in the world if those 3 guys came back, because they could help set the tone defensively. If those 3 guys came back, they'd just wreck people next year. Denzel Burke is gone, I think, at cornerback.
Yep.
Donovan Jackson didn't play well, and just can't mince those words. Great guy, great kid, potential NFL player, no doubt. Better sophomore year than junior year. And some of that may have had to do with the people around him, the new center and a new tackle, but just wasn't his year. And it wasn't ended on a high note with the last play that they're on the field together. He turns the guy loose, and Michigan's best player wrecks the quarterback for the game-ending interception. So there you go. TreVeyon Henderson, I think he's got to go. Too many injuries, shelf life. Running backs so short, his football career is over probably within the next 4 or 5 years. So he may as well get paid the next 4 or 5 years to play football.
NIL might change this because he's getting a lot of money through NIL right now.
Yeah.
It's like a Jack Sawyer. If Jack Sawyer was on the bubble before NIL, I could see Jack Sawyer leaving. Now Jack Sawyer's got a sweetheart NIL deal. We see him on car ads here in Columbus, and I know he's got a deal on top of that. So that could entice these guys to stick around for another year. I don't know. I think you're right about Trey, though. It's different at running back. As you said, shelf life is so short.
Yeah, Jordan Hancock, to me, probably only played about half or 2/3 of the snaps. And I think you want to be branded as an every down guy. Whereas they never took Burke off the field, Hancock wants to come back and be that guy who they never take off the field. Oh, you are a late first round, early second round pick, aren't you? You're not just a novelty. You who gets a pick here or there. You are a dependable cornerback. I think that's what he needs to prove next year.
All right. If you're watching on YouTube, you like the show, even if you're a Michigan fan, we've had a lot of Michigan fans for some reason tuning in the last few weeks. I don't know why. But if you're not, if you like the show and you're not subscribed, subscribe. It helps us out a lot. It's free. And if you like the show, hit that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, we would appreciate that very much. We also appreciate the knowledge from Steve Helwagen. Great stuff from Steve. And we appreciate all of you for tuning into the show. I will be off until next Wednesday. Dan Rubin will have you covered. I'll see you guys on the Bucknuts Morning 5 next Wednesday. Thanks again to Steve. Thanks to all of you. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day.